In this video, we will learn how to analyze data using the Shiny-Calorie app. To get to know the possibilities of analysis available, we will go through the workflow once using the Shiny-Calorie app. The app can be tested out using deposited example datasets. These can be found under Dataset Import, Example Data. In this example, we will be going through the UCP1 knockout study. For this experiment, we click on the respective button. This will automatically open the metadata overview of the UCP1 knockout study. Using this, we can extract that the cohort consists of 8 UCP1 wild-type and 8 UCP1 knockout animals, all fed a high-fat diet. Under Statistics and Visualization, Variable Selection, we can select an indirect calorimetry platform. For TSE, use General, and a parameter to plot. Raw measurements allows us to directly display a range of raw data, including VO2, oxygen consumption, VCO2, carbon dioxide production, respiratory exchange ratio, temperature, and many more. An explanation of the single raw data items can be found on the central Explanations tab. When we press VO2, the raw measurement plot for VO2 in milliliter per hour is immediately displayed. Here, every mouse is displayed in a single plotted line. In our displayed animal cohort, some mice seem to have recorded VO2 data longer than others, and we have incomplete days in our analysis. Under experimental times, we can select full days based on Zeitgeber time, and we also have the option to annotate the daylight cycle in the plot. Under Grouping and Filtering, we can modify which part of the dataset will be displayed and select a group and filter by condition, select a group as a facet, select a temperature, and also the sexes we want to analyze. When selecting Select a group as a facet, we choose the facet we want to group by, in our case, genotype, and the orientation. In our example, we stick with horizontal layout. Now our animals will be displayed in 2 separate plots based on their genotype. Aside from adjusting the displayed time or animal groups, we can further modify the plots to our liking. The option Stylize Plot allows us to manually alter font size, title, and header. The option Add Trend Line will display the average value of all mice in the figure, here separated by genotype. The linked option OnePlot furthermore allows us to display just the smoothed average O2 consumption values of each genotype. Once we obtained a graph that we would like to use for our experiments, we can download an image of the file. On the top right corner of the graph, we have different options to download it as PNG, SVG, or as PDF file. For the same data that we have displayed, we can also perform statistical analysis. For this, we switch in the central panel from main plot to statistical testing. Here, we can configure the statistical analysis to our liking, choosing different tests like one- or two-way ANCOVA or ANOVA and the respective variables as well as post-hoc tests. Under Plotting Control, we can also modify the layout of the statistical analysis and also download the plot. Aside from the raw data, we can also display total heat production. Under Variable Selection, select Quality to plot total heat production. This allows us to display the total heat production of each mouse separately across the experiment. Furthermore, we can display the resting metabolic rate of the animals when selecting Variable Selection, Resting Metabolic Rate. After we have calculated both total heat production and the resting metabolic rate, we can furthermore calculate the individual heat production of the mice under Variable Selection, Heat Production. In this setting, we can again specify the equation we want to use to calculate the caloric equivalent over time, as well as the methods of display. As another feature, the Shiny-Calorie app also allows us to calculate the fuel oxidation of the mice. Here we can select between glucose, fat, lipid, protein, and nitrogen oxidation, which will be calculated based on O2 and CO2. In the end of your analysis, you can download your data. The download section of the Shiny-Calorie app can be found under Results Summary, Download Data, and you can specify both the file name and output format. That was our short introduction into the Shiny-Calorie app features. We hope you enjoyed it and happy analyzing.